Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to tonight's Quran class. We are going to start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah. Can I request the ST to unmute the student in just a moment? I would like to introduce the team first. I will be supported by the support teacher, ST, and the teaching assistant, TA. And make sure that you are seated in a quiet area where you can concentrate, that you had discovered for the recitation of the Holy Quran, and that you have done your ablution. And I would like to start with the Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah. Please, if we can have a student on the mic, and then we can continue.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well,
Can I ask ITG4832 to come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum, G482. Assalamu alaikum.
G4832 to come on the mic, please.
Assalamu alaikum, G4832. We'll give them a moment to unmute themselves. Assalamu alaikum, G4832. Okay, maybe it's an issue with the mic. Maybe we can move on to another student, please.
Can I ask G4763 to come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum, G4763.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you doing? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yes, please. So please start with the Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Jazakallah. And please continue from here.
رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء.
Jazakallah. So you recited that beautifully, mashallah. I think there is a little bit of like a noise in your mic.
Okay.
Can you try reading the translation, please?
Okay. My Lord, grant me from thyself pure offspring. Surely thou art the hearer of prayers of
Okay.
Prophet Zachariah. Islam.
Well, Jazakallah. Surah Al Imran, chapter 3, verse 39. Jazakallah, Asna Jazak. The translation was clearer. So that was good, alhamdulillah. So let's move on to the sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can we have a student on the mic, please?
Can I ask G4704, could you unmute yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
G
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sorry, if you can repeat her ID again.
Can I ask G4704 to come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum. G4704, are you there? Can you hear us?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So please recite the saying of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can start reading from here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barikta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. An Uthmana radhiyallahu anha Anhu Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
I think it's Rasulullahi, and maybe the kasra is missing.
It's okay. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Khairukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allama. Hazrat Umar radiyallahu narrates that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it." Al-Bukhari, number 5027.
Jazakallah, Jaza. So just one thing to keep in mind is to prolong this for 2 seconds, okay? Kama sallaita, and here as well. And another thing that you have corrected yourself was that for males we say anhu. Where is it? Yeah. So here we would say anhu, and then if it's a female, we would say anha. Okay.
Thank you.
So jazakallah for that. We're going to move on to the Malfuzat section of today's class, sayings of the promised Messiah, al-Islam. Can we have another student, please, to read this?
And I request G4713, could you please unmute yourself?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. G4713. Yes, so please, if you can read the sayings of the promised Messiah, al-Islam.
Yes. Read the Holy Quran and never despair of Allah. A believer never becomes despondent of Allah. It is included in the habits of disbelievers that they become hopeless of Allah the Almighty. Our God is Qadir, all-powerful over everything. Read the translation of the Holy Quran, beautify your prayers, and understand its meaning as well. Also, supplicate in your own language. Do not read the Holy Quran considering it as an ordinary book. Rather, read it as it is the word of Allah Almighty. Malfuzat, Volume 2, page 191.
Jazakallah. You read that really nice, with a lot of emphasis on all the important words. Jazakallah so much. With this, I'm going to hand over to the TA, for the teaching assistant, for the Quran quiz for today's class, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakumullah DT. So now we are going to conduct a Quran quiz. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. And this is our first question. So which of the following prayers is recommended to be recited when offering sajda tilawat? Okay. So the options are, first one is Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'anil azim. Option B, Allahumma ghfir li hayyina wa mayyitina. Option C, Allahumma adkhilhu alayna bil amn. And option D, Allahumma sajada laka ruhi wa jasadi wa janani. Now, can I ask SD to unmute a student for the answer?
And I ask G4835 to come on the mic, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum G4835. Do you know the answer?
I think so. It's D. Allahumma sajadalak.
Jazakallah, that is the correct answer. That's the Sajda Tilawa Dua. And do you know what the other prayers are for?
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'an. That is when you
Mhm.
finish tilawat, you pray that.
Yeah, exactly. That's done after the completion of the recitation of the Holy Quran. And the third one, Allahumma adkhilhu alayna.
Allahumma adkhilhu alayna bil-amni wal-imani. I know, but I cannot remember.
That's actually when there is a, during the start of the new year or when you see the new moon.
Yes, the new moon.
And the second one, Allahumma ghfir li hayyina wa mayyitina. That's a prayer offered during the janaza prayer or the funeral prayer. Okay?
Waiting our mamati, yes.
Ji, Jazakallah. Now we will move on to the second question. Which letter is called Munawwan in the rules of recitation? Is it A, letter with fatha, B, letter with dhamma, C, letter with tanween, or D, letter with sukoon? Can I ask ST to unmute another student, please?
Can I ask G4757 to come on the mic, please?
G4757, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
And what do you think is the answer?
C, letter with tanween.
Excellent. That is the correct answer. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah.
And we are moving to the third question. So it is, can Muslim men marry idolatrous women? Which of the following statements is true? Option A, yes, they can. Option B, yes, if they believe. Option C, yes, if idolatress is a slave. Or option D, no, they cannot marry in any case. Can I ask ST to unmute another student, please?
Can I ask G4832 to come on the mic, please?
G4832, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. What do you think is the answer?
It's D, I think.
D? No, but the answer is B. If they believe, then Muslim men can marry idolatrous women.
Thank you.
Jazakumullah for the try. Moving on to the fourth question. Who is the first memorizer of the Holy Quran? Is it A, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Option B, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Option C, Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu. Or option D, Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu. Can I ask ST to unmute another student, please?
Can I request G4741 to come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
It's, I think it's A, Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him.
That's the right answer. Jazakumullah. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the first memorizer of the Holy Quran. Jazakumullah. Now moving on to the last question. Which verse has been referred to as the greatest verse of the Holy Quran by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him? Is it A, Ayat Noor? Option B, Ayat Istikhlaf? Option C, Ayatul Kursi? Or option D, Ayatul Din? Can I ask ST to unmute another student, please?
Can I ask G4719? Could you please unmute yourself?
G4719, Assalamu alaikum. G4719. G4719, I think there is some issue with her mic, maybe. G4719. Okay, then maybe.
Try another student.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. G4762.
763, yeah. Is it Ayatul Kursi, C?
Yes, that is the correct answer. Jazakumullah. G4762. Okay, so Ayatul Noor is from Surah An-Nur. This describes the divine light of Allah. And Ayatul Istikhlaf is also from Surah An-Nur. This is regarding the prophecy about the Khilafat. Then Ayatul Kursi, as you know, it is from the Surah Al-Baqarah. And the last one, Ayatul Din, is also from Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the longest ayah. Okay, so with this we conclude our quiz, and Jazakumullah. I'm giving back to the DT.
Jazakumullah, Sanal Jaza, TA, for conducting this quiz. So before we move on to the material for today, excuse me, I just wanted to make an important announcement that you might have heard in last class as well. And that important announcement is regarding these classes and teaching them. So basically, if there is any one of you that would like to be, is dedicated and would like to be part of the Quran teaching team, please make sure to contact the team via the correspondence email that you get regularly. So you get the email regularly, so make sure to reply to that, put it in the subject line, maybe what it's regarding, and that way you can show us that you're interested in becoming a member of the teaching team, and it's the blessings that come with it, inshallah. Okay, so for today we have the lesson that we're going to be learning today is regarding the tafkhim, which is thick pronunciation, the majestic lam, also called lamul jalala, and we're going to learn about the thickness of ra. So first of all, what are the tafkhim letters? So as you can see in this image on the right, there are 7 letters that you can see in red. So these are the tafkhim letters. And the special thing about them is that they make a thick or a broad sound. They're also called huruf al-tafkhim or huruf al-istila. Also, they can be called mufakham letters. So it sounds similar to tafkhim, and they are called mufakham letters. The way that you can remember them by is you can write this down and you can learn it that way. If you put these letters together and it makes this khussa zartin qiz. Khussa zartin qiz. Okay, so if you can learn this by heart, then this contains all the 7 letters that are the tafkhim letters. So as you can see, kha, صاد, ضاد, ضا, ظا, غين, and qaf. So apart from these 7 out of the 29 letters, the alif, lam, and ra are conditional letters, and the 19 rest of the letters are called tarqiq letters, and they are the ones that are thin sounding, and they're also called muraqqaq letters. So when do we apply the tafkhim, or when do we read a letter with a thick or a broad sound? So we apply the tafkhim or read a letter with a thick sound after, if alif comes after a letter with a fatha. For example, here alif comes after a maftu letter. Excuse me. So alif has come after a maftu letter, so the tafkhim will be applied. Qala. Or other words as well we can do, like there's alif that comes after a maftu letter, and this maftu letter is a letter of tafkhim, so we will pronounce it thick because it is followed by an alif. Ghafiri. We will apply tafkhim if there is no alif after a maftu letter or a letter with a fatha. So we can see there is no alif here, for example, and all 3 of them have a fatha. And we will pronounce the qaf in a thick way and the Sod in a thick way. They are both the Tafkhim letters. Okay. Sadaqa, Sadaqa. Also here. Daraba, Daraba. The Tafkhim will be applied if it has a Dhamma. So for example here, this is a letter of the Tafkhim and it carries a Dhamma. So we will read it thick. Tasumu. Here as well, a letter of the Tafkhim, Qaf. It has a Dhamma. So we will apply the Tafkhim. Qulu. If a letter of the Tafkhim is carrying a Sukun or Jazm, we will read it thick. So here we can see the Qaf is one of the 7 letters of Tafkhim and it carries a Sukun. So we will read it thick. فَيَقْتُلُونَ. And here as well, the Sod, it carries a Sukun and it is a letter of Tafkhim. So we will make a thick and broad sound. Fasbir. Lastly, if the letter of Tafkhim or if the Mukhafam letter carries a Kasra, we will also say it with Tafkhim. Sirat al-Mustaqim. There's more than one letters of Tafkhim in this word. There is a Sod, there is a Ta, there is a Qaf. This will be pronounced thick, it has a Kasra. This will be pronounced thick and it is a Ta. And this will be pronounced thick, it is a Qaf, it has a Kasra, just as it's mentioned here. Sirat al-Mustaqim. We're going to move on to Majestic Lam now. Majestic Lam is the Lam with the Shadda that comes in the name of Allah. So for this, just remember that Lam Mushaddad in the word Allah is pronounced thick if the letter before it carries a Fatha or Dhamma. So we can see this is the name of Allah and the letter, this Lam with the Shadda will be pronounced thick because the letter before it carries a Fatha or a Dhamma. So here, this is a Lam with the Fatha. Qalallahu. So we will make the Lam with the Shadda in a thick way. Nurullahi. This is also thick. However, Lam Mushaddad in the word Allah is pronounced thin if the letter before carries a Kasra. So again, Allah's name is here and this Lam will be pronounced thin even though it looks the same, but it is because of the Kasra beforehand. So with this we will pronounce it thin. Bismillah. And then lastly, any other Lam Mushaddad you see will always be pronounced with a thin sound. So anything that is not in Allah's name, any Lam Mushaddad, like here or here, any Lam Mushaddad after that will be pronounced thin. Kullullahu. Okay, so only Fatha beforehand and Dhamma beforehand will make this Lam Mushaddad thick. Okay, so next we are going to move on to the thickness of Ra for today's session. So the thickness of Ra depends on a number of factors. So Ra will be pronounced thick if it carries a Fatha or a Dhamma, as here, it carries a fatha. It will be pronounced thick that way. So it's a conditional. It's a condition that it has to fulfill. So marra. Again, ra will be pronounced thick if it carries a tanween. So if it carries a fathatain or dhammatain, so that's double stroke of fatha, double stroke of dhamma, then it will be pronounced thick. Musfarra. If there is a ra sakin, it will be pronounced thick if it is preceded by a fatha or dhamma. So we can see there is a ra sakin here, and before it is a dhamma, then we will pronounce this ra thick. Mursalun. Again, ra sakin will be pronounced thick if the letter before it is a blank alif. We can see a ra sakin, the letter before is a blank alif, so we will make a thick sound. Rabbirji'un. Lastly, ra sakin will be pronounced thick if it is preceded by a thick letter, mufakham letter, like we just learned about the thick letters, mufakham letters. In this case, there is a ra sakin, and beforehand there is a thick letter. So you will also pronounce the ra in a thick way. Qirtasa. So if we can have maybe a student on the mic.
Can I request G4857? Could you unmute yourself, please? G4857 to come on the mic, please.
Assalamu alaikum, G4857. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is that G4857?
Ji. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Walaikum salam. ठीक है. All right. So please, if you can start with Tawuz and Tasmiyah, and if we can just do a little bit of practice, and then we're going to go into the breakout rooms for practice. So if you can read this, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أبترهوه.
Okay. So can you tell me, is this ta, is this a letter of tafkhim or no?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
yes, that's true.
yeah, it's going to have a sound of thickness then.
Okay, so what did we learn? We learned, so first of all, also this is a ta with a sukoon, and that will make it also a kalkala letter. So, so can you read this again, please? And remember that this is a throat letter.
Okay.
So, yeah, so try reading that one more time.
أبترهوه.
Jazakallah, Asana Jazak. That was much better, Jazakallah. So can you read this word, please? So just to make clear, the red areas, they are just like that because they have been copied out of the book. However, in this lesson, they're not. It's about, we're practicing. In this word, we're practicing the ra and the thick letters. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can. Yeah, you can just read this.
قد.
Yeah, so if you can read it with them as well.
قد.
Okay, that was better. قد. One more time.
دري يوقد.
Okay, well done. That was much better. Jazakallah for coming on the mic. So I'm going to ask the TA to do the practice now, the lesson practice. Please, if you can take over, and then the rest of us are going to practice in the breakout rooms.
Jazakumullah DT. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes.
Jazakumullah. So we are now going to do the practice session. And for that, I request ST to unmute a student. Please.
Request G4764 to come on the mic, please. G4764 to come on the mic.
Jazakumullah. G4764. Assalamu alaikum. G4764. Could you please unmute your mic? We'll try once again. G4764. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I think there is some problem with G4764's mic. ST, we can try another student.
Can I ask G4775 to come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
775. Wa alaikum assalam. G4775. So we are going to start from here, verse number 42. So if you can, after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah, read up here. Jazakumullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآيات لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون.
Jazakumullah G4775. That was recited very melodiously. You have a very good, melodious voice as well, mashallah. Can you just read these two words once again?
From wow, just
Yeah, just from Bao.
وآيات لهم.
Jazakallah, that's much better. I think when you were reciting, you elongated on the ya. Can you tell me, should you elongate or not on the ya?
No, it's just you have to read one count only.
Excellent. That's only fatha, so only one count. And what rule have you applied over here? You recited
was
correctly.
with Yarmarun.
Yeah,
That
test
no certain and yeah.
Idgham. The name of the rule is Idgham. So
Idgham,
would
yes.
it completely assimilate or partially assimilate over there? Would there be any sound of the noon? I mean the tanween?
Partial sound.
No sound.
Oh,
No.
sorry. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You recited perfectly. You didn't make any noon sound. So that's Idgham Kamil. Okay.
Okay.
And over here, we learned about the rule today. So how will you pronounce this ra? Would it be thick or thin?
Thin if it's kasra.
Okay, because it's carrying kasra. Good job. And can you please recite this word once again?
Al-mashhoon.
Okay, much better. So during recitation, I think because this is one of the throat letters, so I think you missed out on that, but now it's much better. And what about this ra? Would it be read thick or thin?
Thick.
Why thick?
Oh, no.
Sorry?
Oh, good question. It was too much information at
No,
one time, so really can't
no
remember
problem.
now.
So this
I'm
is a
sorry.
Ra Sakin, right? No problem, no worries. So this is a Ra Sakin. So when Ra is carrying a sukun, you have to check the letter before what stroke it is carrying.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Fatha
Okay.
or a dhamma. Sorry, if it is a fatha or a dhamma, then it would be a thick sound.
Okay.
So yarkabun. Okay.
Mhm.
And what about the qaf?
It's you have to take sound and it's huruf kalkala.
Okay. Would it be a mild, moderate, or a heavy kalkala?
Mild because it's in the middle.
Very good, mashallah. Very good. And okay, Jazakumullah, you recited very well. And also the rules as well. Jazakumullah for coming
Barakallah.
to the mic. And can I ask ST to unmute another student, please?
Can I request G4704 to come on the mic, please?
G4704, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. So after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah, please read from here until here.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون. I think there should have been heavier. ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين.
Jazakumullah, you recited very well too. Only just a slight request that can you recite the word the A'udhu once again?
أعوذ بالله.
Much better. That's much better. So just to differentiate the sound between alif and ain. Okay. So make sure you do that. And now you did it much better. And can you tell me what rule you apply over here?
I did partial nasalization.
Very good, mashallah. So make sure you do it for 2 seconds, okay? That gunna sound. And what about this letter? Ghain.
One of the thick letters.
Excellent. So make thick letter and also it's a throat letter. So make sure the sound comes from the top of the throat. And what about here?
This is also a thick letter and also a kalkala.
So what kind of kalkala?
Soft.
Mild.
Mild.
Yeah, mild kalkala. And what about the ra in between?
Ra will be thin because it's got a kasra underneath it.
Very good. So then, and you did pronounce it correctly, mashallah. Again here as well, there is a thin ra because it's carrying a kasra. What about this letter? How will you pronounce it?
Thick.
Thick. Very good, mashallah. Because it's carrying a fatha as well. What rule will you apply over here?
This is alif madiyah.
Very good, excellent. Because can you explain the rule?
Because the blank alif is preceded by a letter.
Excellent, mashallah. That's very good. And what rule would be applied over here? One of the rule of mim sakin. So would there be any nasal sound or would it be clearly pronounced?
Clearly pronounced.
Excellent then. So that's also right. And what about this ra?
This is going to be thick because it has a fatha on top of it.
Excellent. And what about this lam?
Is this a alif madiyah again?
That's an alif madda. And
Oh,
is
sorry,
the
lam.
lam, I'm just asking about the lam. Is it a lam al-jalala? Would it be thick or thin?
I think it will be thin because it's the alif before it is a kasra, has a kasra.
So all lam mushadda other than in the word of Allah would be a thin lam. Okay.
Okay.
So this is always thin letter. And over here, what rule will you apply?
I can't remember the rule. I have to read it quickly because it's followed by an alif. Is that right?
Yeah. Not you clearly. The tanween would be read clearly
Okay.
because it is followed by one of the halki letter. Do you remember the rule name?
I don't know.
Izhar.
It's
Okay.
hard. Okay.
Oh, mashallah, very good. You also remembered the rules correctly. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. And can I now ask another student from ST, please?
Can I ask G4724 to come on the mic, please?
34724. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. And after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah, can you please recite this verse until here?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون.
Jazakumullah. Very well recited. And you have a very sweet and melodious voice as well, mashallah. Can you just read the Ta'awuz once again? I just missed it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
And can you tell me what is here? What rule will you do over here?
Would you prolong it for 2 seconds?
Yeah, you have to prolong it for 2 seconds because that's a waw madda. Because a waw sakin is preceded by a letter, a madmoom letter carrying a letter carrying dhamma. Okay? So make sure
Yes.
to do a 2 second prolonging over here. Other than that, it was really good, mashallah. And you recited very well. I didn't find any mistakes. So I'll just ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Can you tell me what rule you'll apply over here?
Would you also prolong it for 2 seconds there?
Yeah. And the rule name?
Is it Yaleen?
It is Ya Madda.
Ya Madda, okay.
Because it's the preceding letter is carrying a kasra, a maksur letter.
Okay.
And what about this one?
Again, you prolong it for 2 seconds there.
And what's the rule?
Is that Yaleen or is that Ya Madda as well? I don't.
What's the preceding letter carrying?
A fatha.
So that's a Yaleen.
That's a Yaleen, okay.
Yeah. So Yaleen and Wawleen is Ya or a Waw sakin preceded by a maftuh letter carrying a fatha. Okay.
Okay, yes.
And what kind of letter is this letter?
A thick letter and also a kalkala letter.
Yeah. It's a thick letter. Kalkala won't be applied over here because it is carrying a dhamma. Kalkala rule would be applied only if it is having a sukoon on top of it. Okay.
Okay, yes.
And what about this scarf? Would it be read thick or thin?
Thin?
Are you sure?
No, thick because
Yeah. So
still
this
a
is
thick letter. Yeah.
it's always thick. There is no condition. Okay. So the tafkhim, the 7 letters, they're always pronounced thick.
Okay.
And what about this letter? Thick or thin?
Thick.
Mm-hmm. Because this is a tafkhim letter, okay?
Mhm.
And what about this ra? What's the specialty of ra?
So it can be recited thick in certain conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, because it's got a dhamma before that, you would apply the tafkhim. So you would read it thick.
Excellent, mashallah. So yeah, ra is a conditional thick letter. So it depends upon what stroke it is carrying. And the stroke before. You will be reading it thick or thin. That's a very good answer, Jazakumullah. What about this lam mushaddad? Is it thick or thin?
It'll be thin because the is the majestic lam, which is read thick.
Yeah, okay. So the majestic lam rule is applied only for the word Allah.
Yes.
Jazakumullah. Very well recited. And can I request ST for another student, please?
Can I ask G4737? Could you unmute yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. G4737, right?
Yes.
Okay, so after the awaz and tasmiyah, please recite this verse. Sorry, this verse.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين.
Jazakumullah. You also recited very well. But can you tell me, can you read this word once again?
تأتيهم.
So, this is an Hamza Sakin. Yeah. So, a slight jerking would be done over there. So, ta'tihim.
تأتيهم.
Not the ha sound, sorry. Ta'tihim.
تأتيهم.
Excellent, Jazakallah. And you apply the rules over here, correctly. Can you tell me what rule you applied over there on these two places?
So is it the merging assimilation rule?
Yeah, the assimilation rule.
Idgham? Is it called idgham?
Yeah, it is called idgham. So my question is, would it be a partial or a complete idgham?
Complete.
Are you sure? Are you completely ignoring the meme and the tanween sound? I did.
No. So it would be partial.
Yes, it is a partial idgham. It's also known as idgham-e-naqis. So meme and so again meme. So it would be partially assimilated, the sound of meme sakin. And
Okay.
tanween. So this is idgham of meme sakin, and here is idgham of tanween. Okay, both are different roots, but you have to do a 2-second nasal sound on both. Okay.
Okay.
And can you tell me how will you pronounce this letter?
So the ra would be pronounced thick because it has a fatha.
Yes, excellent. So conditional thick, and if there is a fatha or a dhamma, it would be pronounced thick. And what rule will you apply over here?
This would be the rule of izhar?
Izhar of meme sakin.
Yes.
So any other letters other than meme or ba, it would be clearly pronounced. And can you read this word once again, please?
Banu.
What letter is this one?
It's a tafkhim letter.
No, it's a tarqiq letter. It's kaf. It's not qaf.
Oh, okay.
Kaf. So can so it would be a slight There will be no thick sound. So kanu.
كانوا.
Excellent. What about this ra?
So this would be pronounced thin because it
Excellent.
has a kasra.
Okay. Jazakumullah. Oh, what about this one? Last question.
And this is a, would you say it's a thick letter? Yeah, a theme letter.
Yeah, it's a tafkhim letter. So it would be pronounced thick always. Jazakumullah. G47. Can I now request ST to unmute one last student, please?
Can I request G4762 to come on the mic, please?
G4762. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. So after Tawaz and Tasmiyah, could you please recite this verse?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين.
Jazakumullah. So here, just can you tell me what would you do a thick or thin sound over here?
رزق.
So would it be a thick or thin?
Thick.
Thick.
It would be
Okay.
thick.
Because this is one of the tafkhim letters. So here you can see a la sign, okay? So the rule is not to pause over here.
Okay.
You can pause over here or somewhere else. If you are pausing here, make sure you read from words before. At least one or two words before, okay?
Okay.
And what kind of rule will you apply over here?
Anut. Is it the kalkala?
Yeah, that's a kalkala. Utubujaddin. So
Yeah.
it's one of the kalkala letters. So you have to make a jerking sound over there. Okay.
Anut.
Yeah, anutaimu.
Okay.
And what rule will you apply over here?
Is it malau?
Yes.
Is it with the nasal sound?
It is without a nasal sound because the next letter is la mushaddad. So noon sakin would be completely ignored. So this is a complete assimilation.
Okay.
No nasal sound, okay? And no 2-second sound as well. So again here, Qutubujaddin, this is Kalkala. Here you have to, it is better to continue than to stop, okay?
Okay.
Do you know the rule you apply over here?
Is it to make long? Four counts?
Yeah, 4 to 6 counts. So that's the Madde Muttasil rule, okay? Because the letter of elongation is followed by a Hamza. So you will do at least 4 to 6 counts. So over here as well, because I said it is better to continue. So here again, do you know the rule?
So I just start a few words before and then continue.
Yeah, you can start before. So if you were continuing, do you know what rule you will apply over here? There is a letter of elongation followed by alif. Alif
So you
hamza.
make it 2 counts.
So you make it 3 to 5 counts. So
Okay.
that's the madde munfasil. Okay.
Okay.
And over here you will do the idgham. Okay. Again partial idgham nakis. So 2-second nasal sound would be applied over here because it is followed by a mim mushaddad.
Okay.
Okay, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. And this concludes our Holy Quran practice session. I'm giving back to the TA. Jazakumullah to all the students. Sorry, DT. I'm handing over to you.
Jazakallah, Jaza. Okay, so I will take over and we'll share my screen now. So Jazakallah for the practice session, TA. So for the lesson recap, what we have learned today is we have learned about Tafkhimul Lam, which is a Lamul Jalala, which is the letter of Lam with the Tashdid, so Lam Mushaddad inside the name of Allah. And we've learned that that will be prolonged thick if it carries a beforehand, if the letter carries a fatha, and it will also be pronounced thick if it carries a dhamma, and any other lam mushaddad will be pronounced thin, because it is not in the name of Allah, and any lamul jalala that is preceded by a kasra will also be pronounced thin. We have learned about the thickness of ra. We have learned, for example, that if it carries a fatha or dhamma, it will be pronounced thick. It is one of the three conditional letters. So that means there are, excuse me, there are certain conditions that have to be fulfilled for it to be thick or thin. We have also learned about tafkhim, letters of tafkhim, which are thick and broad letters. And for example, here we have we're going to read mirsada. We have learned all the conditions where we're going to make a thick ra sound on the ra sakin or on the ra with a with any kind of vowel letter. A vowel mark, sorry. And finally, yes, there are seven letters of the tafkhim, mufakhim letters, they're also called. There are 19 thin letters, letters of tarqiq, muraqqaq letters also called, and then there's 3 conditional letters. So I hope that this lesson, I hope that the lesson was okay to understand. I'm going to ask the ST to please ask somebody to unmute themselves so that we can read the prayer after the recitation of the Holy Quran.
Can I ask 860 to promote the mic, please?
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yes, please. If you can read the prayer after reciting the Holy Quran.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم آنس وحشتي في قبري اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة اللهم ذكرني منه ما نسيت وعلمني منه ما جهلت وارزقني تلاوته آناء الليل والنهار واجعله لي حجة يا رب العالمين آمين. O Allah, dispel all my fears in my grave. O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran. Make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy. O Allah, remind me what I forget from it, and teach me what I do not know of it. Grant me its recitation towards the hour during the hours of night and day, and make it a witness in my favor. O Allah of all the words. Ameen.
Jazakallah, Sana Jaza. And with that, we conclude today's session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.